Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video. So today, I might be doing something a bit out of character because a lot of people who might be longtime viewers of mine, they would know that I mostly do things involving math and things like that, the theory crafting type of stuff, and telling people how to defeat endgame modes without using cheats and all that kind of stuff that low-tier gamers have been relying on for some time now. Before I get into that, I would just like to thank everybody for all the support on my Herda guide, my last video where I showed everyone how to defeat the 3.0 version. It was kind of an overpowering amount of support, and as a working class theory crafter, some would describe as underground and maybe sort of an underdog in the space, to see so much support in the comments, just sort of a wholesome and positive vibes, and many subscribers that are really looking forward to more of my content. That was just really great to see. Now, without further ado, I'd just like to get into today's topic, which is the 3.0 story. I just finished the 3.0 story quest, probably like 15 minutes before I made this video, because I was sort of putting it off. I'll be honest, I was not really excited for it because I had heard many people say it was boring, or that it was sort of like a dog shit sort of situation. But honestly, I could not have been more lied to, because it was quite frankly genius. Now, you might be asking yourselves, how can you describe the new 3.0 story in Honkai Star Rail as genius? Well, let me just give you a hint. It's because I myself am also regarded as a genius, not only online but in reality as well. Now, before we can go directly into why I thought that Hoyoverse's genius approach to storytelling in the 3.0 version was unheard of before, I have to tell a bit of a sad story, and it is that yes, I was in fact bullied as a child. Many people would say that I had sort of a dead-eyed expression, or that I was sort of corpse-like and had sort of a strange or creepy vibe that frankly sort of upset me growing up. It really hurt my feelings, and Hoyoverse has really made me feel seen, because all their characters sort of look like that, where they do not emote quite well, and they do kind of stand around and they cycle through the same 4 emotes, and to some, they like to claim that this is boring or uninteresting to watch. And I've even seen some people accuse the 3.0 story's cameraman of not coming into work because the camera does not really do anything while the story is happening. And while some would say that this is bad, I would say it's actually very good. There's not any distractions. I mean, who wants to see the camera moving around while the characters are trying to talk? And if the characters are doing something, what if someone has ADHD and they can't focus on the characters while they're talking, and also while they were moving around and doing complex facial animations? So I think that it's actually extremely inclusive for them to have a story where you can kind of know what the characters are talking about at all times, because all they do is essentially talk, and you don't really have to worry about getting overstimulated by their movements. And while I can't quite speak to the content of the plot and stuff, because it is Greek god associated and themed, and I did not read Percy Jackson series when I was growing up, so I don't actually care about any of that. It is sort of for like millennials, and well, I am actually quite young and possibly more attractive than people who read Percy Jackson, because that is sort of like a nerdy kind of thing, and growing up I was more regarded as a jock type figure. So, but I really don't hate on anyone who had the misfortune of growing up as a nerd, but all that to say is that I'm not quite the expert here when it comes to Greek Percy Jackson inspired plots, but as far as I'm aware, the characters were all pretty related to Percy Jackson characters, so anyone who likes that sort of thing can sort of draw parallels between the Star Rail plot and also the Percy Jackson books that they did love so much growing up. And I would just say that the criticism that people are levying at Hoyoverse for not really engaging people with the story by having nothing happen on screen, people call it visually uninteresting. I would actually give props to Hoyoverse for fighting back against the TikTok generation where their attention spans are so low and they have the brains of goldfish-like creatures. Their story actually requires you to be a more focused genius, sort of not really a hyper-intelligent person, but someone that can really focus up and buckle down on the situation in front of them. I really applaud Hoyoverse for making it so that the kind of hyperactive younger generations that, well, I'm actually quite young as well. Some would say I'm very young, but it's more like the other young people who are, TikTokers. I'm not really talking about me, but just keep in mind going forward that yes, I am young. I am still young and I do have a full head of hair that is not even in danger of going away anytime soon, so that is not something you have to worry about. Anyway, I did see somebody criticizing the 3.0 story by saying that, oh, video games are a visual medium. We should be seeing some visuals while the story is playing out. And I could not disagree more because video games are not actually a visual medium, they are a gaming medium. So as long as the game is playing technically, I would say that the contract is being fulfilled between the gamer and the game. And at the end of the day, most Hoyoverse players are not playing the game because they like it. They are just sort of grinding out currency and buying characters so that they can feel some sort of collection accomplishment. Personally, I saw a lot of people harping on the scene where you are being interrogated by Aglia, who is, I think, based on the Percy Jackson character Zeus. So she's sort of in charge and she is gold themed, and I'm sure that is cool. Anyway, she is interrogating the player character in this scene, and personally, I thought it was a great scene. I did in fact choose all of the options that in fact make her kill you. She does get pissed at you if you try her too much. She does kill you, and you do die, but you don't really die because how could you kill the main character in the Hoyoverse game? That would be pretty bad for their monetization model, because if the player is dead, they cannot spend on characters to beat endgame modes, because most people do have characters like Blade that can used to be able to clear the modes, but in 3.0 they've really stepped it up, and if you are dead, you can't roll on characters such as the Herda. All that to say is I think Hoyoverse did a pretty genius thing by not killing the player character in that scene so that the player can continue to play the game. Now, I did find it sort of weird that after the interrogation scene, you can pretend to leave the planet, which is like sort of strange because Hoyoverse does not really tell stories with multiple paths, and safe to say I was correct, because if you take this fake option that lets you leave the planet, well, personally my game just black screened and then crashed, which would be sort of a fun thing that I get to, I pretended to leave the planet and I'm no longer playing the story. It would be sort of immersive if I didn't have to load the game back up and finish the story anyway to get my free stellar jades so I can roll on new characters, because if I'm being honest, I'm not really playing this story for my own enjoyment. I'm more playing it because it does give free rewards. So once I got past Hoyoverse's little joke for me there and I reloaded the game and played through the rest of the story, I did find it quite genius and quite moving, because the Greeks, all that kind of thing. So there was a lot of stuff that happened in the story, and I was quite soothed by the lack of movement by the characters and lack of cutscenes and such, because that really distracts me from my gameplay. So all in all, I really enjoyed myself with the 3.0 story. Well, I guess that's all I have to say about that. And it's not because the story was so lackluster that I don't really have anything to say about it. It's more that I've already used up all my allotted time, because I've sort of got to the point in the video where I can put ads on the video and get some money out of it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just as a forewarning, I am not sponsored by any sort of gaming drink companies or even Hoyoverse themselves to make this video. I just did it because I love the game and I love the content creation space. So I will be taking any ads though. If you have an ad you want to put on one of my videos, I will be taking that pretty soon, and you should probably put ads on sooner rather than later, because I'm going quite viral, and well, I am becoming wildly popular. So the closer you can get to the ground floor of my success is probably more money in your bank account and in mine. So let's get together and do that. Thank you for watching. I do actually love you personally, and